Okay. Welcome everybody to this weekly live. Welcome everybody to this weekly live. Um, yeah, I like to do a live during the week. I could go over some stuff that catch my attention during the week, and then on Saturdays we go over. We read the Christ letters on the weekend, Saturdays if possible, or either Sunday. All right. Okay. So I have a video today I want to show. I want to show this video. I think the universe brought this video into me somehow back to me because somehow I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. I remember just coming into this knowledge, just coming into this enlightenment. I saw this video and I heard this. Brother Reggie said this, everything was fine. That everything was formed in the mind. Everything is mine. That everything is mine. And here I am today. And somehow I remember what he said. Yeah, so I'm gonna play this video and also I want to read two comments by my subscriber about meditation that really touched me this week. So really give you an understanding about meditation and the importance of it. Meditation does something to us that we can't even see with the physical body, that we can't see with the physical body. We can see in the physical body. It does something to us that it's so spiritual. Yeah, we can see it in the physical body because when you see these comments, you can see how this subscriber was healed just by doing meditation. And I know I read a book last week. He also was healed by doing meditation with affirmations. I'm telling you, my family, we have everything we need to heal us in this body. We just haven't got the knowledge. We just weren't taught, and that's why it's so important to understand your body. I understand, as Christ put it, the truth of existence. Because the truth of existence is that we are not solid. We are not solid. We are made up of particles. And every time I say particles, I want to say Christ described them as particles. Um, but we call scientists call them cells, electrons, neutrons, atoms, all the things we hear in school growing up, they didn't explain to us how this come to being, why everything has this thing. And we still can't even fathom the that God particle, particle within us. And that's what Christ means, that the kingdom of heaven is within us. And Christ's message, he thought if we understood that we were not solid, it's this knowledge that Christ had that enabled him to heal, knowing that he was not solid. And know that's another thing. Oh my gosh, our mind hinder this God particle from doing what it needs to do. All right, I'll go into that later. But let's get into this video. Let's share this video. This is Brother Reggie. This is Brother Reggie. And this let you get the understanding when you hear the Bible said the word made flesh. And this was shared. I'm gonna put the person what's his name, Sanaya? I'm not remembering his name that shared this, that I found this video, but I just happened to find it. And I'll put the link in the description. I forgot the name of this person. But anyway, this is brother. I know the person speaking. Let me see if I can see his TikTok. More light two, more light 27, more light 77. That's this TikTok handle. So this is brother Reggie talking about how we were conceived.
Through the mind. Your mind conceives of an idea. We'll take it very simple. When you was coming up, you had no children. But somewhere in your mind, you decided that you wanted children. And that idea stuck with you. And you begin to understand that in order to produce...
So this is Brother Reggie. The person's talking, Brother Reggie. The person who's interviewing him. I'm not sure. He has a channel. I'm not sure what his channel is, but the person who posted the video is right here. Something like 7777. All right. This is Brother Reggie talking about how we were conceived. And if you listen to this, you'll understand when the Bible says the word made flesh and dwell among us. This is us.
How was man created? Through the mind. Your mind conceives of an idea. We'll take it very simple. When you was coming up, you had no children. But somewhere in your mind, you decided that you wanted children. And that idea stuck with you. And you begin to understand that in order to produce this idea, you had to have a woman. And once you got that woman, you and that woman had to create motion. And in creating that motion, the gravitational pull of the movements that you were making draw the idea, which was an atom, down through the spinal column.
Okay. So, Brother Reggie's saying, when we were growing up, we have an idea in our head that we want to have children. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but people have unwanted, whatever, unwanted children. But you had that idea, so in your head that you want children. So there's no specific time for this to happen. So Brother Reggie is saying the thought in creating children was already in the mind. That's how it was created, and that sexual act provides energy, such an energy when that sexual act is performed, that the atom, and we were just talking about that's how we're made up of, that you could call it the God particle, but that's what the Christ letter is telling us. Atom, cells, and all that came down through the man, and when that came down through the man, it takes up all the essence of the human. All the essence of the human, and put it inside the woman.
And out through the penis, and on its way down, it picked up everything in you that produced you, carried it with itself, and when it ejected itself into that womb, it hit that egg. And when it hit that egg, it rested. And in that rest state, all of the things that was taken out of you were brought together and formulated. So your idea that was not seen, that wasn't even a word yet, became flesh.
So let me get this right. The mind realized it needed a woman, and the mind created a woman. Is this what you're saying, brother?
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. Otherwise, tell me where she came from. Because I see where you're going with this, and I like this.
Yo, are you seriously, Brother Shabazz, trying to tell us? Hold on. Are you seriously, Brother Shabazz, trying to tell the people, the viewers out there, that man was created through the mind. How can man be created through the mind when the mind is not here yet?
Where is the mind?
That's what I'm looking for.
The mind has always been. There ain't never been a time when the mind was not.
This is it. This is why it's important to learn the laws of the universe, because everything is mental. That's the law of the universe. Everything is mental. And in our mind, that's how we create our reality. And that's why I do kind of believe that this world is a simulation, because it's through your thoughts, it's through your mind, you create your reality. I know it's hard for to get it, because listen, we are not solid. We are not the solid matter. We're atoms, we're electrons, we're cells. We are not solid. Everything around us is not solid. I think somebody compare it to a huge video game, but of and in the highest, like the best of best video game where you can feel and you can touch and everything. So everything, that's why everything happens to us. It starts in the mind. It starts in the thought. Everything thoughts and think is a thought. We don't understand that our thoughts are creating our reality. And it's through our thoughts we get our blessing. It's through our thoughts we get our sickness. It's whatever area we find our life, where our our poverty, our blessings. It's through our mind. It's through our thought we get all that. So, Brother Reggie, this I saw this probably 3, 4 years ago. And when I heard it, I'm like, oh my gosh. And now I understand what he's saying. So this is a lesson for everybody. When you hear somebody say something, don't dismiss it. Continue on your path. Eventually, the universe will bring it back to you and be like, oh. And I just mentioned it, and I just saw it a couple of days ago. I mentioned it like 3, 4 years ago. I saw this video, the same video, and it just came back in my path, because now I understood what this man was saying.
How else do you have anything?
What is your definition of the mind? What do you mean when you say the mind?
The mind is all. The mind is all. The mind is all there is. All of this is the mind.
Yep.
And you're acting it out.
Yep.
That very idea that you had, and before you had it, your father had it. And your father produced you. So where did you come from? Surely you can't tell me you came from the woman, because you only rested there 9 months. And then you got put out into the world. But before you got in her, where were you?
In the mind.
Someplace where you wasn't seen or heard. Just like your ideas was not seen or heard till you made them known. So man is that word made flesh. And I just gave you the process of how that word, which before was a word, was an idea, and before was an idea was a thought, manifests itself all the way down from the mind, through the brain, through the spinal column, through the kidneys, through the liver, through the lungs, through the heart, picked up everything that it bypassed and produced it again. So did we evolve from what? Man has always been man, and he will continue to be man.
So one thing, I don't think we come from men either, because we have always been. Remember, we're energy beings, and energy doesn't die. So we've always been, always. So when I think we watched a video before, we choose. If we were mind, we choose that, because we choose our parents. We choose who we want our parents to be. So if you hear this, don't be like, oh, we come from man. No, we come from the source. We come from the all because we're energy. And just like anything else, the friction, that electromagnetic rhythm when in the process of intercourse cause a creation. And it's the same in it's like electricity and magnetism come together, masculine, feminine come together and create that form. It's the same way with our thoughts. When our thoughts are electric, and our emotions are magnetism, so that coming together has to take place for it to take form. So whatever we're facing in our reality, our thoughts, and why our thoughts take form, because it comes together with our emotions. Our thoughts and emotions come together and create our reality. It's the same way with us. So I don't want to hear men talking about, oh, babies. No, we've always been. We're energy. We never die. We always been. So that force coming together, that force, that's what Christ wants us to understand, the truth of existence. So that coming together, I think I heard too that they have technology too to see um to determine the energy that's coming, that's gonna create that womb. They can tell the energy that's coming down, so the energy takes on the form. The energy takes on form, so we look solid because of the density we're in. So, yes, and if you're hearing this for the first time, please just give yourself time. If you somehow you find this channel, your higher self wanted you to hear this, and please just know that this is it. Nothing is solid. I know we live in the universe. We take everything for the way we see it. Listen, these eyes can only perceive, I think, only the rainbow colors. That's all these eyes can perceive. And that's why it's important, as we go into our other presentation, it's important to learn how to meditate. Learn how to meditate. Learn how to meditate so you can tap into the spiritual realms. All right, so my next thing I'm gonna share one of my subscribers share with Deep Ministry this testament about meditation, and I did ask if I could share with you all, and he said yes. I just want to share the importance of meditation. And this is Dan the Man Smith, 1695. He shared with Deep Ministry on a video I did about the importance of meditation. Thank you, Dan the Man Smith, 1695. He said it's okay to share with everybody. So this is not from Deep Ministry. This is a person who shared, my subscriber who shared his experience with meditation with us. Okay. Uh, this one I want. Let me get the other one. Very, very revealing. Very revealing. So let me share. Dan the Man Smith. Oh, I keep sharing the same thing. Let me go back here. This one. Yes, this is really this is it. Why it's not sharing? Okay, all right. Try to share. Let me see if this one is it. Yes, this is. All right. This is Dan the Man Smith 6095. I'm gonna share the subscriber, what he went through as what he went through and how he was healed. So, and again, this is not from Deep Ministry, this is a subscriber. And he said, "Good day to you. I am a 54-year-old man, and I had a massive stroke at 46. I was paralyzed on the left side of my body, and my cognitive function was in the toilet. Pardon my French. I was a hot mess to say the least. I went through all the rehabilitation disciplines, physical, speech, occupational, and mental health therapy. I was stuck after years, but I met a beautiful soul, a psychotherapist, and I didn't know that this is a profession, psychotherapist, a psychotherapist who introduced me to the practice of awareness, mindfulness, heartfulness, all forms of meditation. And here we come with the mind again. Everything is the mind. All sickness, all diseases starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. I am old school and thought it was foolishness at first. I eventually started at 5 minutes a day, and I could not stand it at first because of all the mental chatter from the smoke, from the stroke trauma. I stuck with it, and around a month in, I started noticing changes. I don't know what they were. I just knew that everything was different, but good, if that makes sense. Then I started dreaming, and I would remember the dreams and apply the message from the dreams to my life. This is this is so true because it opens up the spiritual realm when you meditate. It opens up. Your dreams are so vivid, so clear. It's like it's telling us, it's like the when you meditate, it's just like meditation, it's like the spiritual realm is so happy that we get out of this physicality and want to show us that there's more to us than this world. There's more to us than this physical eyes. This physical eyes is so limited. We have that's why we have people talk about the third eye. That when you close, that's how you meditate, because when you close the physical eyes, you're seeing through that third eye. It's like a sixth sense. I don't know what they were. I just knew that everything was different, but good, if that makes sense. Then I started dreaming, and I would remember the dreams and apply the message of my dreams from the dreams to my life. Happy to say now I am 54 and I am a dynamo of a being. I gained everything back and then some. So I just wanted to share that with you. Peace and love from Boston. And This is, see, you see what he says? What happened to him? He was paralyzed on the left side. He was paralyzed on the left side. And what opened his mind is a psychotherapist opened his mind to meditation. And he's back to, he says he's gained everything back and more by meditation. So this is the importance. So you see, meditation, it's still the mind. Listen, we're not going anywhere unless we understand, oh, this mind work, because it's the mind that's limiting us. It's the mind that's giving us our blessing. It's the mind that's creating our reality. And we have to learn how to work with this mind. It's powerful. The thoughts, it's powerful. I saw someone yesterday, TikTok just gave up. Just gave up. It was too much. We have to, and I wrote in my letter, and I hope you can understand. If you hear this, if you come across this and you're struggling, it starts in the mind. You have to understand who you are, understand the laws of existence. Whatever you create with the mind, whatever you create with the mind, that's your experience. So if you're feeling down and out today, and if you can find the strength that adds that power that lives within you, to strengthen you, to turn your mind, to turn your thought. And that's how meditation is helpful because it gives your brain that rest. It's not, it get in the physical aspect of it. It lets your brain rest. So everything can come back, your equilibrium can start to come back on track, and everything that's going on in your mind, just resting it in meditation, just closing your eyes. Just closing your eyes. And another thing about meditation, when you close your eyes and close out the world and just be in that moment, when you be in that moment, you know where you are? You are in God time. What you're saying is, God, you lead. You lead. And you don't even have to say, just you, and it doesn't matter where we are. And that's how there's no specific way in doing meditation. It doesn't matter where you are. Just stop for a minute and take everything out your mind and focus on where you at right now. That's a form of meditation. Because anytime we stop and just be in the moment, what we're saying is our true self, our God self, the God we are, take control. Take control. That's what we're saying, that meditate. When we meditate. And that's why this subscriber was able to heal, because he took the power out of his hands. He took the power out of his hands and gave it to the higher power of who he truly is. So if we want healing, if we want blessings, if we want to live that life, we have to meditate. And meditation doesn't mean you go in a corner. It could mean that too, but it's be in God's timing. Just sit down and don't worry about tomorrow. And that's what the Bible was trying to tell us. Don't take no thought in what you're going to eat. Don't take no thought in what you're going to drink. Don't take no thought in tomorrow, because the birds of the field, they're provided for and they don't do nothing. That's what Christ is saying. So what Christ is saying, just sit here, be still, and know that I am God. Be still. Stop worrying about the bills. Stop worrying about what's coming and your kids. Stop. Just sit and close your eyes and be right here where you are. Because when you do that, that's what the animals does. Huh? Aren't you said in one of the scriptures, aren't you better than them? Huh? So if I provide for the birds of the air, I can do that for you. But as Christ says in the Christ letters, we can hinder that. What we're doing, why we're struggling, why we can't see that blessing you hear me talking about, why we can't receive this healing that you hear me talking about, because of the laws of the universe, free will. With our mind, we stop the progress of what God wants to do in our life by our mind, by our thoughts, and by our beliefs. Everything, all those three I mentioned, all has to do with the mind. So we can stop that God process working in us by the way we think. So when we stop thinking and just live in the moment and be in that moment, and that's how this subscriber was able to receive his healing. Because when the what they call him, the therapist, psychotherapist came and be like, he have a stroke, a total left side paralyzed. His total left side was paralyzed. And the psychotherapist come and say, listen, do this. It wasn't easy because when you start meditating, you have everything, the chatter, the mind going, but even 2 minutes a day, even if you do it for a second, 2 seconds, let me tell you what I noticed. The universe, I don't know if it's the universe or you want to say God, it rewards you. You so you do it one time, it next time you go back, it rewards you. It's like he gives you strength to continue, to continue. But remember, nothing is going to force down our throat. Nobody can do it for us. We have to do it. We have to do it. We have to do the work if you want blessing, and not the work for people so you can get blessing. Work on yourself so you can get the blessing. Because when you are enlightened, just the energy around you, my sisters and brothers, is going to affect everybody around you. Whether they like it or not, the energy around you is gonna affect them. All right. So this is Mr. Dan the Man Smith, um, just giving us an example of what did to him, what happened to him, and how he was able to heal by, and how he was able to heal just by I don't know if just by meditation, but maybe I don't we're not saying don't do your medical. So he probably has his medical doctors and the psychotherapist who help him to recover. So I'm gonna share another thing he wrote on this deep ministry, how he understands what meditation was. And this is really good. Now, okay, so this is understanding what he thinks happened. And I agree totally. This is what he thinks happened to him. So if you just join me, I'm reading one of my subscribers shared his experience with meditation based off a video I did about the importance of meditation. And this is his second, yeah, this is the first one. He described what happened and how he had a stroke and was paralyzed on the left side. And with help from his doctors and a psychotherapist, he was able to meditate and totally healed his body. Totally healed his body. And he's like, he's even better than he was before. All right, we're just talking about the importance of meditation, and it's just the importance of the mind. So he says, one more thing. The way I think of the experience of meditation is when one is sincerely going within. The true self will eventually appear. And I think this is the goal for us to be. This is our goal. The goal is for our true self, our spiritual self, our higher self to overcome, to be not I wouldn't say overcome because we need this flesh for this realm. It's for that self to increase. So the true self of who we are, because remember, we're not this. We as Christ described us, we're particles, we are vibrating at a certain frequency. We're vibrating at a certain frequency. And it seems like the visible aspect of us is vibrating lower than our true self. Our higher self is vibrating way higher than our and that of the true self of who we are is vibrating higher. That's why we can't see it. And that's how Christ was able to see it because he was in that spiritual realm. So it says one more thing. The way that I think of the practice of meditation is when one is sincerely going within. The true self will eventually appear. When we are born and the ups and downs of life start to shape our consciousness, the one who carelessly goes through life drifts further and further from the center of the authentic self. And a couple lives ago, I did a video about this. Who we are is all energy, energy. And when energy is not expanding, that energy is not expanding, it's closing in, and that's how matter is. And so we become more matter than energy. We need to be more energy than matter. And why does that happen? Because um we 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 have thoughts, we're creating the thoughts, but we can't get the result because of our beliefs and because of our ignorance before who we are. So when we can't get that results, we're creating this. We take it in ourselves to go and do it and create the results because we're creator. That's why people steal because they know they have this need, but they can't understand how to fulfill this need. They should be able to tap into the true aspect of themselves and understand how to fulfill that need, because all we should do is just be in the God moment and allow, just like the Bible said, but just people just interpret it in a different way. Allow our true self, our God self, to provide for us. Allow, and when that happens, when we do that, that's how energy expands. And the more energy expands, the more we be our true self, our higher self, our Christ self. So in basically, I'm saying in order for us as the subscriber is saying, to be more of who we truly are, because what we're seeing, that this physical stuff is not who we truly are. We're spiritual beings. We're energy. In order for us to be who we truly are, we have to meditate, because meditation means being in that God time, be understanding that power that your Father lives within you. And when we're in that God time, we allow him to take care of everything, to do everything. We allow him, we're in a constant state of bliss. If we go through a day and just allow God to do it, stop thinking. Just if you're here in at your job, pressing on the computer, continue pressing on the computer. Think about only that. That's being in the God time. Don't think about who's coming next though. And this is how you see how this world is set up against our spirituality. Because we were taught to do like three, four things at the same time. So the more you meditate, I agree with this subscriber, the more you meditate is the more your true self starts expanding, your energy starts expanding. And when your energy expand, you're being more of your God self. And I think, and I just know that's the reason why we came to this earth. We're not gonna wait till we get to heaven. That I don't want to hear, oh, you're waiting until you get to heaven. No, I don't know where that came from. So he says, when we are born and the ups and downs of life start to shape our consciousness, the one who carelessly goes through life drifts further and further from the center of authentic self. So when we meditate, we slowly retrieve or reteach the subconscious mind to remember when we first came into this current body of reality, thus returning to the true center or true authentic self. When you trust in the world rather than self, you come like the world. I love this. That's where we at. We're trusting the world to provide all our needs. And that's why we see the depression. That's why we see the anxiety. We're trusting the world to see, um, we're trusting in the world to provide all our needs. And that's not the world's problem. The world is pulling us away from our God self, from our true self. Antichrist. That's why the world is antichrist. All these rule are antichrist. So I don't know, you want to think it's a person, that's up to you. When 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 you trust in the world rather than self, you become like the world, which has numerous pitfalls. Mental illness, addiction, narcissistic behavior, and so on. This is what the world gives us. When you go within, you go to the true teacher, which is God, who powers us all. When you still the mind and connect with God, the so called reality will guide you through life in the true sense of authentic being, which has the power to change life itself. One moment with the beloved changes all things. Peace to all the beautiful people. And please, this is Dan the Man Smith, 6095, who share this with us on Deep Ministry channel. And this is what I really think meditation is. You go in within, you're calming the mind, you let God, you just let God, just a minute. If you listen to me, take a minute each day. This world wasn't here to provide for our needs. This world is not here to provide for our needs. This world is here to take our energy so we will not experience heaven on earth. So we don't experience heaven on earth. This is what this earth does. So if this is just to share with you um the importance the importance of meditation. And yeah, so that's what I want to share with you this week. And one thing I want to remind you, as this week we focus on the mind, one thing I really want to remind you is um, the Christ letters on Saturday was such an eye-opening, with us understanding that all the atoms, all the cells that's within us, that's working within us, that's God. That's what we call God. Some people call it source, some people call it divine intelligence. all those atoms and all that is that working within us, working within us. That's what Christ came to tell us. I know I'm gonna get those that saying, "Oh, Christ died for sins." Really? That's not what Christ. God don't need to allow his child to die for sins when he lives within us. And I think that Christ died for sins is that's allegory. The true Christ within us is die daily. Die daily because we ignore our true power. Our sins is not realizing who we are. That's why Christ died for our sins. So I just want you, I hope if you find this channel, you understand who you are, that you're not the solid body. We're looking at each other. You are made up of God particles. That's how I'm gonna put it. You call it particles, but he says scientists in our realm we call it atoms, we call it electrons, neutrons, cells, but in our realm we call it that. But in Christ called them particles. That if you really see us, who we are, it's just particles vibrating at a certain at a certain energy. That's who we truly are. So how does this help us? It helps us um to want to depend on that God. If we know that the God is within us and not somewhere, as the world is set up on a throne somewhere, in heaven somewhere, and heaven, listen, that kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So I don't know why we're looking somewhere for heaven. This is it. This is it. Hell, heaven, this is it. We're looking at. It contains everything. This is the temple. This is a temple of the Most High God. It contains everything. So, yeah, so how do we, if you understand that who we are is that God energy within us. Who we truly are is that God energy. We need to go within. And I know it's not easy. I try daily. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't. And you can feel when you get it right. Just allow that power within you to take full control. You don't have to do nothing because of ourselves, we can't do anything. Of ourselves, we can't do anything. Allow the power within us to guide us and lead us and guide us in all truth, whatever you need, whatever decision. That's what the Bible all is talking about. Give it to him. Allow your inner self, your true self, who you truly are, to lead and guide your day. Don't just, and all you got to do is be in God time. And God time is that now time. When you go through the day and you feel yourself coming out to that God time, you're wondering what's next. You're wondering what your coworkers thinking. Just calm the mind. Just calm your mind down. That's what being in the God time, and focus on the God within. If you can do it even for a second, you'll be healthy for it. You'll be blessed for it. You'll be, uh, it's such a peace that you can't even understand. And that's why we're here to experience, to walk. And that's the time coming up. The Christ letter says the time coming up, the divide is going to be between those who are conscious and those who are still stuck in their ego. And if you're still in flesh, and that's considered ego. All right, please, please, and do not hinder God. That's what we do on a daily basis. We hinder his movement. We stop his movement by our thinking, by our mind, not what we do outside and this and that. No, We stop the movement of that God power within us by our mind, by our beliefs. Because if you're still looking up there for God, if you're still looking outside of you for God, you're stopping God, the movement of that God power within you. That's how we stop the movement of God. Have a relationship with God. What does that mean? From I was got baptized, they tell us. You know what having a relationship with God is? Is know that He lives within you and give Him everything. Allow him to take care of all our needs. It's like having a relationship with our husband. We don't step into our husband's way or anyone. I mean, sometimes we do, but we shouldn't. That's what having a relationship with God. You have to know Him. You have to know that He's within you. And as He said, that's why He said, you can't eat, nothing can separate me from you. Nothing can separate us because He is us. He is us. There's no separation. And that's the first thing you have to understand to have a relationship with God. So if you're here, if you don't know that this temple, that God is in this temple, that divine intelligence, that source is behind all this that you're looking at. The first thing in having a relationship, you have to know that person. And having a relationship with that person means I'm going to allow you to do what you do for the best of this relationship. And He's all God, He's all divine. So let us let Him do what He do by understanding that He lives within us, by giving Him everything, be in the God moment, be in the God time that is now time. Be in the now time. Stay in the now time. Stop worrying. A lot of us go to church and we hear these scriptures all the time. We have to take some time and understand what the scriptures are saying. Take no thought. Take no thought what you shall eat or what you shall drink or what you shall wear. Stay in the God time because your Father knows your needs. Your Father knows your needs. He provides for the birds of the air. He provides for everything. How much really you think He can't provide for you? Take no thought. When you take no thought, you allow God to do what He does, provide for you in every area of your life. Because let me tell you, we don't know what's best for us in this. When you're in that ego, when you're not with your true self, come together with your true self, that God within you, if you're still in your ego self, or they call it flesh, whatever, you know what's best for you. So allow that power within you to lead and guide your every need. To lead and guide your every need. All right? Please, if you hear this message today, I hope you've been blessed. The topic today is the mind, the mind, the mind, the mind. I know since yesterday it's been telling me that's where your sickness starts. That's where your sickness starts. That's where your healing starts in your mind. That's where you create your reality. That's where you create everything you're going through. Don't look at nobody else. You are creating your experience. I don't want to hear about voodoo, or voodoo, whatever. You are creating your own experience. Nobody is doing it to you. Everything starts in the mind. Your sickness, your health, your blessing, your curse, everything starts in the mind. Because the law of the universe, everything is mental. Everything is mental. Understand the laws of the universe. And the laws of existence is that we are not solid. That's what Christ came to tell us. That's why he got killed. Everything you're looking outside of yourself is within you. The body is the temple of the Most High God. That's Christ's true teaching. That's Christ's true teaching. Everything is energy. We are vibrating at a certain frequency. We are vibrating at a certain frequency. And that God that's vibrating in us through cells, through atoms, through electrons, through protons, that's God doing his work within us. That's God doing his work within us. And we have to stop hindering it. We hinder him by the beliefs that we have. We hinder him by our thoughts. Can't keep our thoughts stop going all day. We're worried about this, stop. This world can't do nothing for us. It's that power within us that get us out the situation that we're in. And when you relax your mind, it helps your depression, it helps your anxiety. It does. And I also shared, one of my subscriber shared with the channel his experience with meditation, how he was healed by meditating. He had a left side stroke, and he has a therapist who introduced him to meditation, and it healed his body totally. And that's the importance of the mind, and that's where the word meditation comes from. Mind. Everything starts in the mind. Everything starts in the mind. And he just shared his and he also shared another he shared with us that his experience with meditation, it's like when you meditate, you become who you truly are. And if you look at this body, this is not who you truly are. You are spiritual beings. You are energy beings, you're spiritual beings, and your higher self, your Christ self, your God self is it's all knowing, is all knowing. So the goal, and that's my opinion, because based on everything, the goal is for us to experience heaven on earth. It's not it's not for you to wait until you die. The goal is for us to experience heaven on earth and become one with our God self. In this flesh, become one with our God self. I think that's the time we're heading into. That's the time we're heading into. All right. And my goal, and I just want to reiterate that stop stop hindering the movement of your Father within you. Stop. Let him. Just remember those scriptures that we've been hearing since we've been going to church, since we grew up. Take no thought. Take no thought in what you shall eat, in what you shall drink, in what you shall wear. Because our Father in heaven, not up there, heaven doesn't mean up there. Heaven, our Father that is in heaven knows our needs and our wants before we even ask. Take no thought. Don't hinder the movement. Don't hinder hinder the movement. Hinder our Father don't hinder our Father from working in us by our thoughts, by your thoughts, by your beliefs. If you believe that God is somewhere out there, if that's your belief, it's gonna hinder your blessing. It's gonna hinder your healing. It is. That's why it's important to have that relationship. And look deep. If you're listening to me, look deep into that word relationship. Nothing is different. Everything is a divine order in this creation. The same relationship between you and your children is the same relationship between you and the meaning of the relationship between you and God. First thing to have a relationship with someone, you have to know them. You have to know that God lives within you. That's having a relationship, knowing that that power is within you. Okay? Know that. And allow that power through your belief. Know that power to do mighty things in you. Take yourself out of it. Whatever you got to do, you just concentrate on being here. And that's my goal. Just being here at this time, nothing else, doing nothing, and allow the Father in heaven to do miracles in your life, in our lives, in our lives. Thank you all. If you find me today, you find this live, if you're going to watch at a later date, please be blessed. Please be blessed. Walk as the God that you are. Remember, everything is mind, everything is mental, everything starts with the mind. Riches, sickness, the health, everything starts with the mind. Take control over your mind. Ask your Father. And listen, we have an entourage. Don't think you're by yourself. I'm listening to people. We think we're by ourselves. We have an entourage. Where do you think they get all that from? Where do you think the world get entourage? We have an entourage. We have our guardian angels. We have we have our guardian angels. We have a spiritual team, a guide. We have a lot of people. Tap into them. Tap into them. Sorry, I'm here yapping. Thank you. I am loved by God, richest blessing, having a hard time um raising my raising my vibration. Thank you for your comment. I am loved by God. And this starts with meditation. A meditation, and everything starts with the mind. I am loved by God. You know, I heard if you watch Bill Donahue, that's what helps me. And he said, make sure you meditate in the dark. And I'm talking to I am loved by God, but if you hear this, a thing Bill Donahue does that spoke about. I know these teachers are long gone, but their words ring truth to us at this time. Um, the Bill Donahue said, if you have a hard time focusing your mind, if you're having a hard time focusing your mind, do your meditation in a dark room. Allow your pineal gland to to work. Allow your pineal gland. And then if you're in the dark and your mind's still going, you hold your breath for 15 seconds. And this, I know it works. I don't know why it works, but it works. If you hold your breath for 15 seconds, it it calms your brain down. Please, if you hear me and let me know why. I don't know. All the chatter, all the thoughts. And I got this from Bill Donahue, goes away, and you feel that presence. You feel that you're in that spiritual realm. Everything quiets around you. Everything quiets around you. I am loved by God. I really think just meditating and try do it at twice, one in the morning and one in the night. It's when you feel that presence come in, my brother or my sister. Oh, good. You watch Bill Teachings, good. Yes, I hope you watch the one that he talked about meditation. And he says best do it in the dark, and you'll have to do it a long time, because when you feel it, when you want to do it, you'll do it for at least an hour. But to start, at least maybe you'll do it for 5 minutes, maybe you'll do it for 10 minutes. Just do it until the chatter comes back. And when you get up, you'll feel more and more and more and more and more and more stronger. You will. If you find my channel, your higher self brought you here and you're chosen by God. So please be blessed. Please be blessed. Just focus on your meditation and then you'll see how you start raising your vibration. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I am loved by God. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you all for joining me today. I'll see you this weekend where we read the Christ letters. We'll have another live this weekend. I pray God's blessing. I pray, Father, Mother, God's blessing on everyone and everyone at this time of pouring out of vibrational um, consciousness and energy. And I just pray, as the Bible said, once there's a willing vessel, there's always going to continue a pouring out. Blessing, blessing. What time I'll send out, if you subscribe to the channel, it depends on my work schedule this weekend. If I get home early, I'll do it on Saturday. If not, I'll do it on Sunday. If you subscribe, I'll send you a notification at what time. Okay? You're trying to recover. Were you ill? I am loved by God. Oh, I'm your subscriber. Okay, all right. I'll send you the notification at what time. Oh, yes, you were healed. Okay. I sure keep you in my prayers. And remember, all healing takes place in the mind. And when you go into meditation, please see yourself being healed. See yourself being healed in every way of your life. Just put it in your mind. I don't know the extent of your sickness, but if you do get to meditate, please see yourself as a healthy person running around. And I read the Christ letters too. I am loved by God. And it says when we have a ailment, it's that area of our body that lacks light. It's an area of our body that lacks light. And sometimes just speak to it. Just put your hands on it and speak to it because if Christ said, "Oh, all the cells in our body, all the cells in our body is God. That's the God energy within us. You know, just ask that power within you. Ask that power within you to heal that area, and in the mind or whatever you in happen in the mind, the thoughts in your mind are electric and your emotions are magnetic. And when those two come together, that's where your healing takes place. That whatever you want takes place. That's in the physical realm. And I'll keep you in my prayers. Okay. Thank you. I am loved by God. Thank you. All right, blessings everyone. I'll see you this weekend and I'll send out a notification if it's going to be on Saturday or Sunday. God bless everyone. Bless.